Hello all. I hope you've had a good day. I worked at my job. Man, I love my retail department store job. I just do. I have the best time when I work. I love all the people I work with. And again, I will reiterate this. I'm not a big fan of corporate America. I'm not a big fan of corporate greed. I'm not a big fan of none of that. I think what they're doing is wrong, running these sweatshops. However, I am beyond blessed for all the people that I have that work with me in the retail store, and how we just speak without speaking. Like it's gotten to the point now where when I talk to people, they let me know essentially that they know that it's all a joke at this point, and they're totally uplifting and supportive and encouraging and proud of me. They don't even have to say it, but are proud of me for fighting the good fight, and that just means the world to me. It really, really does, and I'm so blessed for it. A couple things came to me. This is gonna be a spicy video, enter at your own risk. I overheard my father say something, and I didn't hear him say Epstein files, but I think he did, in reference to, okay, they've been released. I don't know why we're still talking about this. It really irked me. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what it is with people in MAGA and not supporting the Epstein files. And this is the way I see it. If you are on the side of the fence where you're like, I don't understand why it's such a big deal for the Epstein files to come out, this and that. Do you not understand that there is sexual abuse, human trafficking for women and children, and all kinds of different police reports in reference to victim materials remain redacted? I mean, there's just the amount of grossness in it, child pornography. I mean, how could you be okay with that just slipping under the rug? Like, you're just basically telling on yourself that you've got some problems up in the wheelhouse, and agree to disagree. But essentially, if you're on the fence and I hear you say something along the lines of that, you're pretty much, in my book, just became somebody that is okay with sexual abuse, human trafficking, and targeting, blackmail, coercion, referrals of the other to minors. I mean, you're pretty much on that side of the roadhouse. All right. So that's where we're at in this world, man. We got to get away from people that think like this and operate like this. Like, you're a part of the problem. You're a part of the problem. And I said it, and I freaking mean it. 10 toes down, man. So that came to me. I was like, man, I just yacked in my mouth. Literally. But that makes sense given my sexual abuse when I was a child, and furthermore, and everything that untangled in that. So, but you know what? It ended with me, because I decided to not allow that childhood trauma to turn me into something that God knew I was designed to be more than. I did not allow that sexual abuse to take me down roads. And Lord knows, I've been down some roads, but never ever would I stand on the side of the fence and okay this and not feel like justice shouldn't prevail to all those partaked in this, not to mention all those that knew about this happening and chose to turn a blind eye because they were benefiting from the fruits of the monetary gain, which just makes you guilty by association. All right. Furthermore, another thing that came to me. All right. So it came to me when I went outside on my break, and I was like, dang, we are in a predicament. We are in a bit of a pickle, because I know a lot of people want me 10 feet under. And it's not where I have said XYZ countries and all this stuff. Religious groups are definitely involved, no doubt about that. And I believe that there is a connection there of that said blah, 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 blah. However, because it has so become nationwide, globally in some ways, they can't just like come and shoot me in the back, man. They would just be showing their hands. They straight would. They would be literally saying, yep, we did it. And because we've gotten in too deep and we can't prove our point, we had to take her out. And so we in a bit of a predicament. I would agree. I would agree on that venture, because I ain't going nowhere. I'm just going to keep watching the comedian show that's happening, transpiring right now. When I'm weak-minded, I was easily swayed and used. When I was weak-minded, I was very easily swayed and very easily used and very easily gullible when I was weak-minded. And when I say weak-minded, I mean, I didn't actually stand 10 toes down on my own thoughts, on my own feelings, on my own motions, on my own inner understanding. Because I was so conditioned in the world that I was brought up in, from different things that both my parents have been through in their childhood, but as well as the social conditioning, the people pleasing, the overextending, the doormat, like all these different things, you know, and that's just something I adopted as a childhood. And so I was very weak-minded. And by the grace of God, I am no longer weak-minded by any means. And I'm not saying everything I think is, you know, right, true, or whatever, but it's right for me. It's right for me. Like what I think and how I operate doesn't have to be right for you. Just like how you think and operate doesn't have to be right for me. Like I'm never going to understand why we live in a world where we have pedophiles walking among us. Like that's not something I'm ever going to understand. I'm also never going to understand why we live in a world where so many different people, places, and things of power, organizations, three-letter digits, badges, this and that, money, get away with so many heinous activities. Like I'm never going to understand these things. Those are things I'm never going to understand. Nor am I ever going to understand the thinking that they carry. Right? And so I recognize that. I give them space to be who they are because I don't understand it. So do the same with me. Right? Because that's the only thing that's going to make logical sense at this point in the venture. God is here. God is taking care of the trash. He just is. He just is. You know, and it's one of those things like, sure, I was labeled slow. Sure, I was labeled this. Sure, I was labeled an addict. Sure, I was labeled promiscuous. Sure, I was labeled everything under the kitchen sink. That's the best they got. That's all they got. It's just calling me names and throwing rocks and hiding their hands. That is all they had. Story of my life. I can't tell you, I got so accustomed to people being so fake to my face. There's nothing like people, like recognizing that people are being so fake to you and they freaking can't stand you. And it's like now it's just funny because I'm not surrounded by people like that anymore. I'm surrounded by people that do not like me and they're disingenuous, but it's not a matter of friends. It's different. It's completely different. It's people coming at me with hidden agendas. You know, and all of them came at me with hidden agendas too, but it's just different. I think it's different because I'm different. I'm gonna stand on that one. It's the only, I mean, it just is. By the grace of God. No prophets not have a follow. Let's see here. No prophets not having to follow the law. Non-prophets not having to follow the law. I get that. I mean, it's just... Stakes, siphon, dictate. That's what I wrote that in the middle of the night. I was going to unpack that. Trauma-based hypnosis. I was going to unpack that. You know, I had a mailman follow me, like that was behind me at work today. I was like, well, dang, according to Brandon Lake, the mailmen are devils. So, I don't know about that one. I would disagree, Brandon. I would disagree on that nugget there. I think that there's far bigger devils walking around us. And it's definitely not the mailman. They're just delivering the message. How about those sending the message are the devils? I mean, come on now. My gosh. Anyways, I love you guys. Have a great night. But yeah, those are some nuggets that came to me. I love you. Have a great night. Sweet dreams.